Alright, we're starting to lose the light. Yeah, figuring out this camera sucks. We're starting to lose the light, so I need to start a fire. So I'm going to set up the tripod to hopefully get the fire, and we'll see how I do. Everything is super wet, and it's going to suck if I don't have a fire because I am sitting on mud. So this is my fire kit. Oh, lovely. There's my magnesium starter in the mud. I hate the strikers that come with them, so I have a striker that was made for me. I also have this type of fire starter that I don't like as much because you don't have the magnesium. So let's see how I do. Hands are shaking because I have not had any water. My shelter sucks because it collapsed halfway through. Now, I like to get a nice amount of magnesium in there, especially when it's wet, because lighting a fire when it's wet sucks. I may have to get one of the bigger logs and start the fire on it using some of the drier wood chips from what I was cutting earlier. Fizzled right out. Bet that magnesium's just falling right through. Alright, let me get one of the logs. It's okay to change direction at any time if something isn't working. I also realize I tried for like 2 seconds, but you know, I just don't see that working. Sometimes I like to start a fire. Oh, I wonder what that was. Sometimes I like to start a fire on a piece of log like this because it catches all the magnesium. I'm just gonna break off a bit with my hammer axe, roofing hatchet, whatever you want to call it. So, nice thing about this bark, it's nice and dry. It peels a lot, which is a good source of tinder. You can feather that up. See, I'm just kind of shredding it. It's nice and dry. The inner bark of trees often is drier than my humor. Haha. God, it's gonna suck if I don't get fire. So, like playing around with different types of tinder. I like having a fire even more. Alright. Move these wood chips out of the mud. Any of the smaller bits I can break up. Throw them in there. Because hopefully they'll catch along with that bark peelings. And then hopefully there'll be enough light for me to go down to the creek and get some water. Brought a little cup. Although I have a feeling I'll be in no want of water tonight. It is supposed to rain again. Come on, give me more bark. think that one might be done, but flies are buzzing. Probably because I've been sweating like crazy. Be nice if my shelter hadn't fallen apart on me. But what are you going to do? Start over. It would have also been nice if I'd have had all day, you know, starting out in the morning instead of going to work and then coming here and doing this, or doing it on a dry day. But doing it on a dry day proves nothing, because anyone can day camp. That doesn't prove you can survive. Also, it would be nice to have been able to go fishing. Maybe weave some fish baskets. That is something I would like to do. Although the creek has plenty of crayfish down there, I've spent my share of days catching crayfish, crawdads, whatever you want to call them, crawdaddies, mud bugs. Alright, let's try this again. Now, I'm sure this would be super more fun with a partner, but I wanted to see if I could do this alone first and just do a test run. I've been camping my whole life. In fact, one summer my family camped across the country and back. That was an experience. We tent camped. Alright. Hopefully. You know what? Let me get more for good measure. Oh, damn it. There we go. It keeps wanting to flame up. Like I said, everything is just so wet. Even the dry stuff is wet. I mean, it's that bad. And there are coyotes out here. So, fire is something that will keep them away. I do have a fresh starter since my striker's pretty well used up. I know on Naked and Afraid they do give you a fresh striker. They don't make you use an old one where you don't have much of anything left of it. I actually wanted to strike up here. All right, let's try this striker. Ooh. This one throws a lot more sparks. Which if this stuff was dry, or if I had some leaves or dry grass, something of that nature. Or at this point, I'd burn the bloody map they gave us. I think that's laminated. I think it's wanting to catch. And I have fire. Not a very big fire. It's something that can be built upon. Stay lit. Stay lit. I'll give you more bark. Alright, let me tend to this. Sorry guys, I still don't have a fire. Had to switch to night mode. Don't like that. It's still a little bit of light, but let's see. I keep getting embers, and it keeps flaming up for a minute, and then it... Okay. Ha! Stay lit. Stay lit. Stay lit. I know that's just the magnesium, but stay lit. Some of it's staying lit, some of that bark, maybe. Keep adding to it with sparks. Come on. Everything is just so freaking wet. Hit any magnesium that hasn't burned. Any bark, anything. Fuck. Ah, there's some magnesium that didn't burn. Honestly, I don't know why they put these strikers on paracord. I know it's so that you don't lose them. But This freaking sucks. Like, if I could light this whole magnesium block on fire, I would. God, I could go for some water. The reasons I want to be on Naked and Afraid is to prove that I can do it. Now, if I had to stay out here all night in the rain with no fire, I can do that. And I can do that for 21 days. It will be miserable, it would suck, but the likelihood of that happening, 21 days without fire, I've yet to see it on the show. I know that if I sat here carving away at this magnesium block for the next 21 days, by the end of that 21 days, I would have a fire that you could roast a pig on in a heartbeat. And the bugs are coming out. Bugs are what gets everybody. This is a very buggy area. Down by the creek, proximity to water. Now, lightning bug. In reality, if I knew I was going somewhere tropical, I think my survival item would be mosquito netting. Man, that freaking sucks. People are like, oh, if you had matches, you could do this. No, it is too freaking wet. You would not be able to do this even with matches. If you can't do it with a magnesium fire starter, you can't do it with matches. I'm sorry. Now, sure, you could do it with all your fancy lighter fluid and all that good stuff. But I have practiced every day for weeks, months with a magnesium fire starter. Let me tell you, I'm good at it. But it has rained all week. And I've had no preparation. I haven't set up any tinder. I haven't cut any wood, sat it out to dry it, nothing. So this is going in here day one, and I have no infrastructure. And yeah, that freaking sucks. Trying to get these long spirals. Also trying not to cut myself with my striker, because my striker is actually a knife, not some piece of crap that comes with these Walmart strikers. Okay, there's the magnesium. But will anything else catch? Tiny embers. Tiniest of embers. it is just taking everything in me to keep any embers going. Oh, I am lightheaded. I have had no water. I have expended a lot of calories making a lean-to shelter that collapsed once. I'm in a very buggy area. Oh, did I see a little tiny flame? No, no. And it's just out again. Oh my gosh. Back. I'm just scraping straight magnesium onto these coals. And it just catches for a second and then nothing because everything is so freaking wet. I have no partner to keep me warm, keep my spirits up, share the load. I'm out here friggin' Robinson Crusoe style. Whew! What I wouldn't give for a little bit of water. You know what? I'm going to leave that piece of stripped, really thin bark that I'm breaking off. And I'm going to leave it whole. See how that does. I know my wife said if the tinder is not working, don't be afraid to switch it up. Well, babe, this is me switching it up. I'm doing this for myself a lot, but I'm also doing this for my wife. I've been through a lot with her, and I've supported her through some pretty awful stuff. She went through some traumatic experiences, and, I tried helping her through with that as much as I could. I feel like I failed a lot with that. And I know she reminds me every day that it wasn't a failure, but my wife was very brutally attacked in the worst way possible. And I pushed for her to, press charges against her attacker. And in the end, we got no justice, no real peace from it. But we went through it. We went through it together. And I supported her very much through that. Did everything I could. I've got one little coal here that I'm going to try to transfer onto this. and that's the coal. That's it. But anyways, back to story time. I supported her through that, and I've always been a huge fan of this show. Always wanted to go on Naked and Afraid, because I've always been into outdoor stuff. You know, after going through everything she did, finding no real peace, and, you know, me supporting her, she said, you know, if this is something you want to do, she would support me. And she has. She's been very supportive. I really appreciate that, because I really don't know what I would do in life without her. Whew. I probably should go down to the creek, get a cup of water, even though I have no fire to boil it. But I can get that cup of water, and I can sit down, and I can try to get this fire going. But if I don't go now and get that cup of water, it's not really going to be safe for me to go down there. So, here's me signing off. And, you know, I can do this. I can do this, and I will do this. I will be on Naked and Afraid. And I will be on it for 14 days, 21 days, 60 days, however long they want me on there. If they say, hey, we're just going to put you on the fan one, 14 days, I'll go. Because if I go on the fan one, they might have me back on the 21-day one. I will do anything to get on this show. I have what it takes to survive on Naked and Afraid. Signing off. Gonna go down, get a cup of water, hear the thunder rolling. It's gonna be a long night. Oh.